Deadpool and Beowulf are very different types of heroes. Deadpool is an anti-hero who does what is right but goes against the moral norms of regular heroes. Beowulf is an epic hero who fights for righteousness as he puts others' well-being above his own. Looking these two hero traits of glory, vengeance, and morals, one can distinguish their similarities and differences. One similarity that the two characters share the archetypal element of a hero's journey. A hero's journey is a quest that has a specific goal in the end, which is to achieve maximum glory. In the film Deadpool, Wade Wilson's journey is to find his lost love Vanessa and reconnect with her, while he tries to hunt down and kill his arch-nemesis Francis. Beowulf was sent by his king Hygelac to Denmark to conquer the great monster Grendel that had been terrorizing the Danes for 12 years. Deadpool doesn't really look for complete glory like Beowulf does. Deadpool is really looking for redemptions for actions he's done in the past, but he has to find the courage to do so, unlike Beowulf, who arrives at Denmark in full confidence and ready to conquer Grendel and achieve his glory. But Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool, is sure of one thing. He wants to make Francis suffer for what he's done to him, similar to how Beowulf and how he wants to avenge the men that has fallen to Grendel's evil actions in the meat hall at night. Also, Wade Wilson just wants to be remembered for a person he is, and not what he thinks a monster that Francis has created through mutations he was forced in, through around-the-clock torture. Likewise to Beowulf, because he wants to be remembered for centuries as a great warrior and king, however, as well as a noble companion to his friends such as Hrothgar and his king Hygelac. In the end, Beowulf dies fighting off a great dragon that is destroying all of his lands, but he dies with honor, earning his goal of glory to be remembered forever. As well as Deadpool, who got Francis like a fish like he wanted, but achieved his ultimate goal by getting Vanessa.
Along with glory, Beowulf and Deadpool both have a value of seeking revenge that is very similar to the other. In the story of Deadpool, the main conflict, other than regaining his fiance's love, is trying to get revenge on the villain Ajax for mutating him into a hideous and powerful human. There are two major conflicts in the story of Beowulf that are very similar in comparison to vengeance wanted by Deadpool. When Beowulf is called for action to help Hrothgar's people, it is not only an act of wergild and comitatus, but it is to get revenge on Grendel, who has been killing Hrothgar's men every night for 12 years. The next major conflict in the story is when one of Beowulf's men disturbs a dragon and its treasures. The dragon goes on a killing spree throughout his town. He then tries to kill the dragon out of revenge for this mass destruction. During these conflicts, Beowulf spends almost every second seeking revenge on these monsters. In the end of each of these stories, both Beowulf and Deadpool complete their quests of revenge. Deadpool ends up killing Ajax, and Beowulf ends up killing both Grendel and the dragon. Granted, he dies along with the dragon, he still got his sweet revenge. Although revenge goes against purest forms of righteous morals, Beowulf still fought for the glory and safety of his people.
Morals and societal values have changed a lot since the Anglo-Saxon period. After analyzing the text of Beowulf, the values of honor, glory, and truthfulness were revealed through the character of Beowulf. Beowulf was willing to go the extra mile to stay righteous and honorable. He risked his own life to make sure that the battlefield was equal and fair between him and his opponent. These risks for honor showed the infinite depth of Beowulf's integrity. These were values that were held with praise back then. These moral laws and personally gained glory went hand in hand. When people had to do something, whether it was labor or battle, they made sure to do it with righteousness. This is a concept that is no longer the popular opinion in our society. The film Deadpool shows us that society has very different morals nowadays. People care more about getting things done as quick as possible rather than doing it with the utmost righteous character. And the lack of moral character is shown through the character of Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool. Wade is an anti-hero who flat out claimed he is not a good person. In the movie, he killed at will and cared little for the poor moral choices he was making. He found that the righteous route to conquer evil took too long, so he sacrificed morals for efficiency instead. He figured that being righteous was not necessary to do what was right, and he was willing to act with the morals of a villain to succeed. With this being said, however, there is one moral value that Beowulf and Deadpool share. The value that these two share is their respect for the fraternal bonds for comitatus. Each character had friends who were with them through their darkest hours. Beowulf had his mighty bands of Geats accompanying him to the journey to fight the wicked beasts of Hrothgar's kingdom, and Deadpool had his X-Men buddies assist him in rescuing the woman he loved. Like Beowulf, Deadpool cared for his companions, and he would do what was needed to be done to protect them. And Deadpool's friends cared for him as well, as they helped him with both moral and physical support throughout the movie. So, no matter how morally different Deadpool is from Beowulf, he still would go the distance to ensure the safety of his clan.
Beowulf is written to be a tough and feared warrior, but he is also great with his language, like when he is speaking to Hrothgar of his defeats over the beasts he has battled. He speaks in such a way that the reader can get an image of what is happening to Beowulf and be amazed by his use of language. Deadpool, however, does not share that quality with Beowulf, as his language involves mostly swear words and crude jokes directed towards the people he is about to murder. Beowulf and Deadpool aren't dissimilar in this fashion, though, since both of them boast about being able to kill their enemies before they go into battle them, but stylistically they are done differently. For instance, when Beowulf boasted, it's because that's what people in his culture did. If they could back up their words with their accomplishments, which he did in front of Hrothgar and Unferth, then they could boast about whatever they did. However, when Deadpool does it, it's more of a taunting matter, because he doesn't take things like murder as seriously as he should, which is more a reflection of our culture. For instance, in the first battle scene on the bridge, Deadpool mockingly says that he wears a red suit so bad guys can't see when he bleeds. In his story, Beowulf is written to be more of an uncorruptible hero who's shown to accomplish everything he set out to do and was a great king, and his people treated him kind of like a god of his people because how perfect he was, which reflects the Anglo-Saxon values of their heroes, shown as the peak of humanity and the best they can be. However, on the other hand, Deadpool is quite the opposite. He does accomplish his goals he sets out to do at the end of the day, but he does it with no morals and having gone through struggles and problems like any normal person would have, even if Deadpool does have superpowers, which reflects more of all culture that people aren't perfect and sometimes doing what needs to be done takes a lot from you, like your face. In the end, while both are certainly heroes, set out to do what is right by them, the difference in the two heroes that come from the differences between our culture and Anglo-Saxon culture can be seen in the two stories of the hero's journey.